Hi everybody, Kyle Goeth here from GoatFilmReviews.com and the Goat Film Reviews YouTube channel. Coming at you from my backyard as I just got home from a screening of BlackBerry, the new film from IFC starring Jay Baruchel and Glenn Howerton. I don't know much about the true story of BlackBerry. I never had a BlackBerry, but I did. I kind of skipped right over into having just the smartphone with the touchscreen. But if this is all true, and I don't expect that it all is, because I don't know. You know my thoughts. If you've watched me for any amount of time, you know that I don't think a movie has to be 100% true to its source material to be good. The goal of the movie is to be good. Source material and historical accuracy be damned. That being said, if this movie is as close to true as it can be, it's perhaps one of the stupidest stories of a product I've ever heard. And that's kind of what made it so peculiarly fascinating. Much like BlacKkKlansman back in, 2018, how Spike Lee kind of kept reminding the audience that this was incredibly stupid and incredibly insane, that this was a true story. And that's kind of what happens here as well, as we get those kinds of realizations that even almost the characters in the film know what they're doing is really dumb. So I had fun with this one. It's probably a little bit too long. It runs that 2-hour mark, and I think the story naturally could have kind of ended off maybe 15 minutes early and had just a better flow to it, because near the end of the film, it's set primarily in 3 time periods, and I feel like when we got to the 3rd time period, I felt like the story had kind of started running out of steam. There's some important stuff that happens there, but we could have gotten to it a little bit faster. That being said, Jay Baruchel is quite good in the lead role as one of the CEOs / co-CEOs of RIM, who created the BlackBerry. He's a fascinating performer because you kind of expect a Jay Baruchel performance, and he usually gives that in a lot of his films. It's a very similar performance. Here is one where it's about the transformation of the character he plays. It's about becoming the person who he is in the film. And so cutting it between these 3 time periods, jumping through time, you really get a sense for how the character has evolved and changed through that time, and I think it works pretty well. But I do think the standout here is definitely Glenn Howerton as Balsley, the guy who knows nothing about how to make a phone, who basically gets fired from his job and has to get money somehow. So he kind of joins up with the crew here at RIM and takes over as the other co-CEO. And he's fascinating and he's fantastic. He is so incredibly intense all the time. But you get the sense that he's also kind of just making things up as he goes along. He's got a very, people always joke about the Joker of it all, but he's kind of like almost like a business Joker, where he's just kind of coming up with whatever he can to keep the mess going for a little bit longer. I thought they were both quite fascinating, quite work well together. There's a number of other performances in the film from people. I mean, for the most part, they're the 2 that are carrying the film. We get a number of other people like Martin Donovan, Michael Ironside, who I think are fantastic. Saul Rubinek is in it. He's great too. They're not in for a lot of the film, but what they do is very compelling, very exciting, and very fun. Like I said, the film maybe just overstays its welcome a little bit, but I had a real good time watching this one. Information that it may have given was very, very peculiar, and a story that I didn't think. We're kind of in this time period right now where we have Air, which is about the Air Jordan. We have BlackBerry, which is about the BlackBerry. And I don't want to see a ton of these movies about like peculiar products that were made. But this one I thought used its time well, for the most part, to give us an interesting, entertaining look behind the curtain at this peculiar product that really was ahead of the game until it wasn't. And I think that's what's so fascinating, was that you can only try and stay ahead of the game for so long, and sometimes you need to understand when you've played all your cards. So I had a lot of fun with this one. If you get a chance to check it out, it's an IFC film. It's a smaller movie, so you may not get a chance to see it in theaters, but if you don't see it in theaters, definitely stream it when you get a chance. I had a lot of fun with it, and let me know your thoughts down below once you've seen BlackBerry. I'd love to hear it. Good, bad, ugly. Give me your thoughts on the film. I'd love to hear them. I love communicating with the other people on this channel, so I do appreciate that. You can also find my written reviews over at GoatFilmReviews.com. You can find Goat Film Reviews on Facebook. You can also follow me personally at Almighty Goatman on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd. And you can find my show Kyle and Nick on Film that I co-host with Nick Plodchuk from the St. Paul Filmcast. We have new episodes every single week. You can check all those links out. They're all down in the description too, so you can find them real easy. And we'll see you next time.